Hello, everyone. So, with Behemoth coming out in just a few weeks, I decided I wanted to revisit some of Skydance's work. And I decided I would start with what I would consider their masterpiece, the original Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. I originally was going to make a Metro Awakening video for all of you. I tried recording that yesterday, but it could not run on my computer, like, at all.
Oh, no, no.
I thought it was because I was recording, so I tried to play it independently, and still nothing worked. So I am going to hop into a save file that's a little ways in, so you don't have to see all the tutorial and stuff, and then we can just hop right into it, and we can take a look at what they've got cooking here before I start comparing it to what I think Behemoth might be like. So, let's go. Oh, it is good to be back. Now, something to know about me is I am a huge fan of The Walking Dead, watching pretty much all the shows, and my capstone project in college was kind of based off of The Walking Dead in a way. And so this game, when I first saw it, when I was in college, and I saw that it was being made, I was so excited. I got my first VR headset 4 years ago. I got a Quest 2, and this was one of the first games that I got. The first 3 games that I got were, let's see if I remember correctly. It was Super Hot, Job Simulator, and this game. So I was ecstatic to play it. I forgot how good the guns actually look in this game. I remember when I first got it, I didn't realize that there's a difference between PC VR and standalone VR. So when I booted it up on my Quest 2 and it didn't look like this, at first I was really disappointed, but then I kind of pieced together like, oh, you know what? It's kind of supposed to be like that because it's running standalone. But, oh man, I gotta remember where I'm at with everything. You know, considering how early along we were in VR when this game came out, it was kind of revolutionary when it came to mechanics and how a world is fleshed out. And, you know, I have my thoughts on the sequel, but maybe we'll just make that a separate video. For now, I want to kind of refamiliarize myself with the way that Skydance kind of creates their games, the atmosphere, the look. One thing that I want to really pay attention to is the weight of the weapons. I know that's one thing that Skydance did really well. Like, I've got a crowbar, for example, and it does a great job of simulating weight to the weapons. And I really hope that they put that much detail into Behemoth as well. So we're going to go kill some walkers, go look at the world, and we're going to kind of refamiliarize ourselves with what they've got going to see if we could maybe connect some dots between Behemoth and this game. So kind of like I was mentioning before, if you want, I am willing to make a separate video on Saints and Sinners 2, if you want me to, because I didn't mean to do that. I am willing to make a separate video on that because I have some special thoughts about the second game. It was sort of like how I was following Batman very closely when it first came out. I was following Saints and Sinners 2 very closely when it came out, and I was so excited for it. And in a way, it was kind of a letdown, but I won't get into all of that here. If you want me to, I forgot it has to be over the left shoulder. But if you want me to get into that, I can in another video. Or maybe you don't want to hear about Saints and Sinners 2, and we'll just move on. What does this guy want? I remember the walking pace was kind of aggravating to me.
We have to keep our voices down. I'm in a bind and I need a third party to set some wheels in motion. Someone unaligned. Nothing shady, I swear.
I remember I was doing an evil playthrough on this character. And you know what an evil playthrough requires? Requires that I kill everybody. Every single human being in this playthrough is supposed to die. That's what I committed myself to when I got it. Greetings. Ooh, kitchen knife. Now, I don't know much about Behemoth. I haven't been following it super closely. I mean, I'm counting down the days until it releases because it looks like a cool game that I'll want to play. But I haven't been following it as closely. So I've watched, you know, some of the gameplay trailers and all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of where I got the idea for doing this, because I wanted to see where Behemoth was coming from. You know, I still remember killing my first walkers in this game. I was in my brother's apartment after I first bought my headset. And the feeling of the walkers actually slowly approaching you and like being a life-sized zombie was actually kind of freaky. I've obviously gotten over that. Oh wow. Okay, well, still got some bugs around here, but it is what it is. How do you do, ma'am?
That's a tourist? Huh. Don't look so tough.
Did I change your mind? It's funny because coming back even after all this time, I still remember the layouts of every single map. You see, little things like this, I really hope Behemoth has. I mean, just the fact that I can just hit that and it's got its physics. I mean, it's little things like that that I think make VR as a whole a very special medium for games. And I just hope that I can keep that level of immersion in Behemoth. I don't know what exactly there's going to be, but just little things like that I think can make the world feel so much more immersive. Or how the cars that you can climb on have a special marking on them, so that if for some reason, even though in my opinion they don't spawn as many walkers as they should, if for some reason there was a lot of them, you could climb up on a car and kill a few of them while staying safe. Hey, look at this guy. And even all these years later, the PC version of this game still looks really good. And I think Skydance did themselves a favor by having this sort of... they have this kind of comic book looking style to everything. And I think that really helped them out in the long run, because it makes the game look a lot better. Hey, dude. Well, look at you. Now, the combat in this game, when it comes to the stamina function, it makes sense, yes. But at the same time, part of me kind of wishes that it didn't exist. And when it comes to VR games, having a stamina function or not, you know, part of me always goes the route of like, oh, well, I wish, you know, the only stamina that we had to worry about, my bad, bro. I wish the only stamina that we had to worry about was our own physical stamina in real life. And, you know, that was one way that I looked at it. But I also looked at it through the route of like, you know, they got to kind of minimize how much the player can kind of, I guess, keep themselves from being overpowered, if that makes sense. I'm talking directly to you guys now so that I have people to talk to. And so, because there are plenty of times where I could still be swinging along, but suddenly I just, you know, my arms just drop because I'm out of stamina, and it's like, well, I can keep going. And there's the thrill of the fight, for example, the VR boxing game. You want to kill him? There you go. Thank you. So as I was saying, games like the thrill of the fight, you know, no stamina. That's based on you as a player. You know, and it's kind of similar in that Dragon Fist VR, the Kung Fu game. I love that. They're both wonderful cardio exercises. And those, you know, it's not limited by in-game stamina, you know, and it's, you know, I mean, if I, like, decapitate these guys...
Nope. Nope.
Okay, that didn't work. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Now, if I don't have to worry about stamina, you know, I think that's a whole different thing. And I'm trying to remember, as you know, as of me recording this right now, I'm trying to remember the Behemoth gameplay that I saw. I don't remember if it has a particular stamina. Well, I know it has a stamina function with climbing. I know that. You know, I watched videos of people fighting against one of the Behemoths, and there was a stamina for climbing, but I do not remember if that stamina applies directly to fighting. Oh, I have more 9mm than I thought. So yeah, that's the thing, right? Like I don't remember how the stamina is going to work specifically that way, but you know, at least this guy won't have to deal with it. Hey, that's a reference to one of Skydance's other games. But I know at the end of the day, yeah, I mean the stamina in this game didn't affect me a whole lot. It was a minimal thing. I didn't have to worry too much about it, but there were a couple of times where it got in the way. And, you know, as someone who's like a huge Walking Dead fan, I'm a huge zombie fan in general. I've played so many different zombie games that fighting large groups of zombies doesn't feel like a big thing to me, I guess, in a lot of games. This game included. Let's hope this doesn't jam. This game did set an early standard for how I feel VR games should be made. And that's part of the reason that, once again, the sequel was so disappointing to me. However, at least we have this one masterpiece of a game to start off with. And simply because this game was made so well, and from what I've seen from other content creators, I do believe that Behemoth is going to be very good. I mean, just little world building things like this, you know? Stuff like this is what can really piece a world together. You know, it's not just, you know, these big objects on the map that you can interact with. It's art. It's, you know, stuff like that. Now, as for the overall gameplay loop in this game, you know, you're doing your missions, you're coming back to the resting place, you're upgrading, you're progressing the story, and I think that's all done very well. I'm curious to see if Behemoth is going to have something similar where there's like a central location that you go to, or if it's almost going to be, you know, first game that comes to mind with this gameplay style is The Last of Us, right? Where you're constantly moving through these different levels and doing things, or maybe it's a big open world that you're moving across. I don't know. Real quick, let's see if I can upgrade any of these. Alright. Oh, another one. I can get another one. I remember the night shift being really, really good. Love that back here for when this National Guard knife dies out. You good, bro? Are you going to break through the door if I try to grab it? There you go. Good job. I'm really proud of you. No. Don't. Please. Oh, come on. Bro. There we go. Alright. So we've delved around in the story a little bit, kind of reminded myself some of the mechanics, but now I want to delve back into the trial mode and just kind of test out some of my walker killing abilities and remember how that's set up, and we'll see how that goes. Ah, the trial. It was a nice test of my walker killing abilities, which, you know, I personally felt like were pretty good. You know, I've watched the shows. What to get? These are pretty good. They're helpful. Decapitating uses less stamina. It can last a good while. Let me get some arrows. I'll probably get a bow at one point to save some ammo. What's really going to be helpful is the Nova. That's going to be good. And there's little goodies throughout the map that I can find. I just didn't look around a whole lot on the last level. Hey, buddy. Hi. Let's get you ahead. See what I did there? I thought that was kind of funny. Get him ahead. Because, you know, it's ahead. I consider myself quite the comedian. Don't you? You could say I've got him rolling. Oh, man. One of the mechanics I saw in Behemoth that I'm actually really looking forward to is the grapple mechanic that you've got on your arm. I think you can change what arm it's on based on your dominant hand, if I remember correctly. Or at least I've been led to believe that, but in all the promotional material I've seen, it's been on the left arm. But whichever way they end up doing it, I'm sure it'll be all right. We'll use a bow. Now what we really want is the absolution. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, buddy. Ooh, a booster. You're going to get nice and close. I missed that completely. Now, you know, I don't, like I've said before, I don't know much about Behemoth as it's coming out. But if somehow, some way it makes sense for them to have some sort of survival thing like this, that could be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if it'd just be waves of human enemies or if it would be like how many different behemoths you can fight in a row. Like I said, I don't know much about it. But whichever way it ends up working, I think it could be pretty cool. So I want to know, down in the comments below, from any gameplay that you have seen of Behemoth so far, I am interested to hear what your thoughts are on the combat, on the gameplay. Do you plan on buying it right away? Are you going to wait? What platform are you going to get it on? Tell me about it. I want to hear you. Well, I think this is probably a good stopping point for this. I'm going to finish out this trial by myself, but I'm glad we were able to kind of dive back into this. It's been a long time since I've played this game, and I forgot how much I really enjoyed it. It's very well made, and it's very well done. And with Behemoth coming out in just a few weeks on December 5th, unless it gets delayed again, I look forward to seeing where we go. And I also look forward to playing it for you guys. So, with all that in mind, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.